Coming into the year, Ferrari had hopes of competing for the title against Red Bull. But 6 races into the season, that hope is starting to look more like wishful thinking. And it's starting to get to their drivers, as showcased by the communication breakdowns that happened over the weekend. What was said in Ferrari over the Monaco Grand Prix? Let's take a look. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur has expressed his apologies to Charles Leclerc for the communication breakdown that resulted in him losing his third-place grid position at the Monaco Grand Prix. Despite unfortunate luck in his Formula One career so far, Leclerc has yet to secure a podium finish in his home race. However, in Saturday's qualifying session, he achieved the third fastest time, with Esteban Ocon from Alpine serving as a buffer between him and Mercedes, as well as his Ferrari teammate Carlos Sainz, who qualified in 4th place. Leclerc unfortunately faced a penalty of being dropped 3 places on the grid for impeding Lando Norris' McLaren during Q3 in the tunnel. Ferrari failed to inform Leclerc in time about Norris' presence, preventing him from taking appropriate evasive action. As a result, Esteban Ocon acted as a hindrance to other drivers, but he managed to secure a podium finish with race winner Max Verstappen and Fernando Alonso breaking away from the rest of the field. This suggests that Leclerc would likely have achieved a podium finish if it weren't for his penalty. Vasseur said, "He's been a bit frustrated in Monaco for a couple of years now, and qualifying was tough. It was tough first to lose the pole position by 1/10 or something like this, to lose the front row by 2/100ths, and then the call. What else can I do than apologise on behalf of the team and understand how we can do a better job, and to improve the communication between the pit wall and Charles in this condition, but on both sides. I think it's also due to the circumstances where it happened, into the tunnel. But okay, we have to avoid trying to find excuses because it's the worst way if you want to improve. We just have to correct." Under the tunnel, Charles was not able to see in the mirror where Norris was, and if you tell him after the tunnel he can see where Norris is and avoid being on the racing line. Also, the line under the tunnel is not very clear. But we made a mistake clearly, and this cost us a lot because I think starting from P3 could have been another race, but we have to learn from it. Honestly, I'm not looking to find an excuse or something like this. We have to review the situation completely. I didn't want to do it on Saturday evening because we are focused on the race, but we will have a look at this. In Sunday's race, Ferrari's strategy came under scrutiny as usual following the 6th and 8th place finishes of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz at the Monaco Grand Prix. In a similar fashion to the previous year, when local favourite Leclerc's chances of victory were disrupted by a late decision to switch to slick tyres, the team from Maranello found themselves involved in a public dispute regarding their tactics. This time, it centred around a frustrated Sainz, who was instructed to pit against his wishes while engaged in a battle with Esteban Ocon from Alpine, ultimately finishing 3rd. Sainz's race engineer summoned him to the pits to change from hard tyres to medium tyres, claiming that it was necessary to counter the challenge posed by Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion from Mercedes. The exchange between them, partially captured on team radio, indicated that Sainz opposed the decision as he preferred to remain on track and battle with Ocon for 3rd place. Sainz expressed his frustration to his engineer after making the pit stop, insisting that the team was repeating their previous mistake. On the team radio, his discontent was on full display to the public as he said, "This is exactly what I talked about." His engineer responded to the snarky comment, saying, "The target was to cover Hamilton," to which Sainz aggressively replied, "But I don't care about Hamilton, I was quick." After a minor collision with Ocon at the Nouvelle Chicane earlier in the race, Sainz managed to continue despite damage to his car's front wing. Initially, the team requested him to pit, but he chose to stay out on track. However, as a rainstorm approached the circuit, Sainz eventually relented and followed the team's instructions by entering the pits. Despite another disappointing weekend for the Tifosi, Vasseur maintains that it would be unjust to claim that Ferrari was lacking pace in Monaco, considering their competitive showing during qualifying. He expressed his thoughts, saying, "At the end of the day, we are P3 in qualifying, less than 1/10 off pole and 2/100ths off the front row. I don't think that it was a disaster. We made some mistakes over the weekend, team and drivers together, but to say that the pace was not there in Monaco, I think it's a bit harsh. I think that the win was possible, the drivers came to Monaco with a lot of expectation, and we also did as a team. Vasseur remains unfazed by any potential challenges that could hinder Ferrari's ability to consistently finish in the top 5, expressing confidence that the upcoming race in Barcelona will be more suited to their strengths and therefore more relevant for their performance. The race in Miami, we didn't show good pace, but the qualifying in Miami, we were fighting for pole position, and in the qualifying of Monaco, we're also fighting for pole, explained Vasseur. In the race of Monaco, I would say that nobody knows. I think next week already we'll have a better view on the race pace, because Barcelona is probably more relevant. As speculation circulates about Ferrari's possible interest in recruiting Lewis Hamilton, the future of Sainz with the Italian team remains uncertain beyond the conclusion of next year. Sainz, on the other hand, has set a personal goal of finalising his long-term prospects before the beginning of 2024. He recalls a past experience in 2018 when he was notified midway through the season that he would be released by Renault for the following year, emphasising the unsettling nature of such news. Sainz said to the media, "Obviously, I don't want to reveal what my strategies are in terms of contractual negotiations, because it's something that I never disclose. But if you heard me on interviews in the past, I've always said I like going into an F1 season knowing where I'm going to race the year after, because I went through that experience in Renault and I didn't enjoy it at all. Everything planned out, that would be the target." When asked if this meant he would prefer to have his situation resolved at some point during this year, Sainz responded, "Not necessarily this year, but before the start of next year or during the start of next year." There are reports suggesting that Audi is considering Sainz as they prepare to make their debut in Formula One in 2026. Nevertheless, Sainz claims that he does not pay much attention to these speculations, stating that such reports about driver movements are common during this stage of the F1 season. When asked if he has discussed the Hamilton rumours with Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur, Sainz replied, "Honestly, no, because at the end I feel like I don't think I need to. I know at this time of the year there is always these kinds of rumours. It's silly season time. A week and a half ago I was going to Audi. 1 week ago Charles was going to Mercedes. Now Lewis is coming to Ferrari. It's the story of our lives when it comes to this time of the year. I've been long enough in F1, more than 8 years, to know that it's that time of the year." In Barcelona, Ferrari will debut their initial set of upgrades, marking the beginning of a series of planned enhancements to mount a strong challenge against Red Bull during the midpoint of the season. Will they pick up the pieces and finally find their groove this time around? Tell us what you think in the comments section down below. And, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.